Welcome back to the Chowdah Talk podcast, guys. Episode number 6.
So basically, aliens, okay? What? Arm punch for arm punch? Oh shit.
Chowdah heads.
Hey, what's good? You, sir!
We've had a pretty crazy week here. CDC and the WHO have finally declared the coronavirus to be a global pandemic.
Wow. Which we predicted.
Yes, we did.
Last week.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Shout out to us.
That's insane, though, guys. Are you guys scared yet of that? I mean, I'm personally. Nope. So I've been talking to people, in my office about it a little bit. It's definitely a topic of conversation, but the general consensus for everybody is that no one's really that concerned about it, and people generally think others are overreacting to it. And I'd say that that's my position too. I mean, we have people like buying up like all the toilet paper around the shelves in stores.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. It's not like the nuclear Holocaust, guys.
It's all the media and stuff just blowing out of proportion, which, it's something we have to prepare for, and I really think that the schools are doing a good job of closing down because it's a liability. What if 200 kids get sick at their school and they didn't shut down?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, Sean.
The toilet paper and hand sanitizer thing, that's a little bit ridiculous now. The fact that, the stores are literally running out. They're stockpiling. Closing schools, okay, but, there's people who genuinely need to buy toilet paper, and they can't because everyone else is bulking it up because the world is going to end. Not the world's going to end, but millions of people are going to die from the coronavirus. I need to get all my supplies.
I don't think hand sanitizer is going to save you. If it's that bad, if it's affecting you that bad, some hand sanitizer.
Quick side story. So I was at Bass Pro Shop the other day, and
Bass Pro.
Huh?
I love Bass Pro.
Oh, it is so good. I haven't been in there in a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
We were doing, this event thing, and I sneezed, but I did it the proper way. I sneezed into my arm like this, and then I kind of just went like that real quick. And this lady looks at me and she just goes, "You're disgusting."
At Bass Pro?
Go put on hand sanitizer, and I'm just like,
really?
That's
hey,
crazy.
Mom,
That's a bit much.
I mean, should I put on hand sanitizer? Maybe that's a good practice.
Every now and then.
But she was just so aggressive and anal about it. She was just like, "That's disgusting. You need to go put on hand sanitizer right now." It almost it just felt like it had to do with this whole coronavirus scare, not even just me sneezing as a normal human being. I was just like, she's freaking out about the coronavirus.
Oh, totally.
I think it's kind of sad that that's where we're at, where it's people start being rude to each other. It's that's kind of how society does break down, though. It's when social norms start to go out the window and things like that, just over something like this. I mean, I understand that there's a big deal going on right now. I mean, I think Governor Baker just declared a state of emergency.
No parade for us in Boston.
Yeah.
No St. Patrick's Day parade.
There's lots of events, lots of concerts, things like that are being canceled. And the thing is, those things probably should be canceled, right? I mean, it sucks for the people that want to go to them and perform at them.
Conventions,
They're
too.
even already rumoring out I heard on the radio about the Olympics,
Yeah. I actually saw that.
If this gets even bigger and bigger, that they might cancel the Olympics.
Which is huge.
Which is
That's crazy.
nuts. Yeah. Which is the type of stuff you see on Plague Inc.
So I'm curious, how has it affected you guys personally? I know that in my workplace, there's some new policies that we've been implementing, so that to stop the spread of the disease and all that. But
well, we're just cleaning everything a lot more. Any handles and things that people touch, we're sanitizing and putting out Purell and stuff. And people are even talking about, where are you getting all this Purell from? We've just had it stockpiled for work.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's definitely, people are talking about it.
Would you say that, are you feeling okay with it? It's nothing too major for you, right?
I don't really care.
Yeah,
I feel like we have a good immune system. We're at a solid age right now where we don't have to worry about it.
We're at the perfect age. We're fine.
Yeah, because it's affecting younger people and older people with compromised immune systems or lower white blood cell count,
even
stuff like that.
Younger children, they're at a higher risk than we would be, but I think the older people are really the major group that's concerned.
They're the
now.
ones that are the death rates consisting most of.
I think it's 68 plus, 70 plus, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But another thing, so there's deaths happening, which is terrible, right? But there's also a high rate of recovery right now too. That's far exceeding the death toll. There's been basically no media coverage of that, though. There's very, very little of it, to the point where, on social media, people are complaining about the media, talking about how many people are dying from it, how fast it's spreading, but they're not talking about the recovery. Do you guys think that's something that, the media is planning out? Do you think people are, reacting to that appropriately? Or
I think they're playing on the fact that there's not a real, cure for the virus
Which,
yet.
in fairness, there's not, but,
So I think there's more panic about that.
Yeah.
It's like, say it mutates along the way.
Which they say it will.
Yeah.
They say it's going to
that's
mutate into a third or fourth strand when it's at. It's only on its second or something right now.
And they're saying there's going to be at least a year until the vaccine's ready.
Right.
So
Which is scary. That's a
very-
long time from now. How many people have gotten infected? This is a disease that 3 months ago we had no idea about.
Yeah.
And now it's a global pandemic. That's why it's such a big problem, is because it's so rapidly increased.
Yeah.
Like the numbers.
Yeah.
On the first episode we ever recorded of the podcast, we had talked about how I think there was the first 3 cases that popped up in Wuhan.
And that was 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might be a month
only
ago.
3, only 3 people, and now it's thousands, 8,000 or something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, over 100,000 have been infected, but a majority of them are in China. But a lot of people are quarantined, thousands of people in, what did you say, 13 different countries or something like that?
16 different
16
countries
different
worldwide.
countries. I know Italy is on complete lockdown right now.
And Seattle, I think, also.
New York as well.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It is, yeah.
Did you guys hear about the DC priest that, shook hands with 500 people?
And he got it?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
It's crazy.
There was the head of some activist for the coronavirus. He also got sick from it too, which is also nuts. And the doctor who said it was coming out also died from it.
Yeah.
The
I
scientist
think,
that
yeah,
said
he
it
was
was
one
coming
of the
out.
main guys doing the research
Yeah.
on it. Yeah. He was from China, so and he was a doctor. So was that a doctor or a scientist that was?
I don't know.
I believe it was a doctor.
A doctor, right? That was actually treating patients for it. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. We're gonna see how this goes. I think generally people that are really thinking about it rationally aren't too concerned about it, but there is a level of concern. So we'll see how it goes.
Not to keep touching upon it on every other podcast, but
it
it's a prominent topic in which we need to talk about because it's currently ongoing and it's important.
Definitely.
Wash your hands, kids.
Yeah.
Stay healthy.
Stay
So
healthy.
on a less depressing note, we actually have a special guest for today's podcast, BohoBrain. If you would like to come out, the best artist based out of Boston, Massachusetts.
Let's go. Angela, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Love it. Yeah, guys, so Angela is our friend. She's been our friend for many years now. She is a content creator, artist, and a college student doing a lot of stuff in life right now. And a very interesting person in general, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you again for coming on the show. You guys want to get into some topics we can talk about here?
Yeah, I think we should shoot right into maybe you telling us a little bit about what you do. As of right now,
sure,
you're just Angela.
Yes.
You're just BohoBrain to everybody right now. What's your
So my name is Angela, obviously, if you already said that.
Right.
I have a YouTube channel, Instagram, at BohoBrain, where I create art and other sorts of... Oh, yeah, follow me.
Put that down.
Shameless plug, at BohoBrain.
We'll post it up on our Insta page. Go follow
Oh my
her.
god, yeah.
Link
Put
in
in the
description.
description. Yeah. Yeah, anyways. But yeah, I've been having my YouTube channel and Instagram page for a couple years now, just creating just multiple variations of mediums and, just documenting my artistic journey throughout the years. So that's something I really want to just keep tabs on and see how much I can grow with the upcoming years. Because, being social media famous would be kind of cool, you know what I'm saying?
Angela, you're already social media famous.
I'm trying out here. I'm trying.
You're
Thank
currently
you.
8 subscribers away from 1,000.
8,
which
yeah.
doesn't seem
like a lot, but
much
that's
in the
just a
grand
lot.
scheme of things, but that's a lot.
And I feel
That's
like
a
you
lot.
also...
1,000 people. I don't know 1,000 people.
1,000 random people.
Yeah, I
And
don't
I
know
feel
that.
like you also have been doing it for a long time, too. So
I only created the YouTube channel over the summer, so I gained 1,000 followers in about a year.
Not even a year,
Yeah, but my Instagram page, it took 3 years to grow to 900 followers almost right now. But I don't even care. I just it's my artistic journey. I just want to see how much I can grow throughout the years, and I can document it in a way that I can go back weeks and weeks ago and just see how much I've grown as a person and an artist.
It's not about the followers. It's about the
That's
journey.
right, Matt.
Definitely.
And expressing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Yes.
So explain a little bit about this whole fate or free will thing,
Okay, so
because I have no idea
I just
what that
started
means.
college recently. I am going to an art school, and I have this English class where we read 15th to 18th century literature. So we've been reading about just like a lot of just like old-timey books like Aristotle, Plato, I don't even know how to pronounce. I'm going to butcher these next names like Euripides and like something. I don't even know. I don't even know like these names, like all these Greek philosophers, like I don't know any of their names. But one topic we talk about a lot during class is fate versus free will and how that like plays out in life. Like, is life like all fate, like predetermined, like you can't do anything about it, like your fate is just going to be like already like in your life, like whatever happens and like you can't control it at all. And then like free will, like saying like you being born is free will because like you didn't say you wanted to be born and you're not going to say you want to die. So it's like a lot of like that what we talk about, just like all aspects of life. We just get really deep in my English class and it's like really crazy.
It's an English class or a philosophy?
It's an English class. The guy, like my professor, he's just so inspiring in a way that like makes you think about life and all these different like scenarios, and I like it a lot.
That's awesome.
So one of the sides being almost kind of like how we were talking about everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
fate.
That would be fate.
That'd be fate.
So you
Like,
believe everything's predetermined.
Everything's meant to happen in your life
Right.
at a specific
like your
time.
destiny. Your destiny is your destiny, and you can't control it at all. Like
And
whatever
free will,
you do,
free will is like saying that people don't believe that,
Pretty much.
and it's
control
kind of
it.
just like not everything happens for a reason. It's like when you do something, this happens, and
It'll
it's
change
all
the
like
course.
yeah.
So
You're completely in
what
control.
stance did you take on it then?
So I'm kind of like, I'm like 70-30. I'm like 70% fate and 30% free will, because obviously if you just sit around and be lazy all day in bed, like you're not going to be like getting like that successful in life. Like obviously you have to put work in, but I feel like even if you put that work in, you can't control the future and you can't control what happens to you. So like if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to get rewarded back. But if you don't put your I fucked that up. If you put yourself out there, you can't control what's going to come back to you, but you can at least say like, hey, like I put the work in and I got this because I got this. I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, how do you know that your fate wasn't in your life to sit around for 10 years and realize, oh shit, I need to get myself together and get my life together?
Well, it's a big conversation. That's why I don't
And
know.
that's the debate.
Like Grandpa
Yeah.
Joe waiting in bed for 20 years.
Yeah.
And
Literally, you could be in bed for
Just to
20
get that golden ticket.
Literally, you could be in bed for 20 years and then win like $1 million on a scratch and you'd be set for life.
Yeah, that's
but
fate.
like, what would you do after that $1 million? Still lay in bed, like
invest.
invest in what? I don't
Invest
know.
in Tesla stocks.
I don't know. It's like a really weird topic.
That's
There's like a lot of
interesting,
different like angles to look at it, but like I don't know. I just think like your destiny is your destiny. Like you can't control things that are gonna happen to
No,
you,
that's
but I
cool.
also feel like you can somewhat control it with the actions you do.
Definitely. I think that's such a cool topic, though. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that really makes your brain think to the point where it's hurting.
Yeah, that's my class. Like, that's me
some
every
deep
single
thoughts,
class.
bro.
If I was gonna look at it like in a personal level, I feel like if you're like you have the free will to put in the work you
Yeah, of
want
course.
to, and I feel like if you put in the hard work that you want to, like stop laughing.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not.
If you put in the hard work that you like, work on. Fuck you, Anthony. You messed me up. You messed it up.
Sorry.
All right. If you put in the hard work towards your goals, you're going to be fated to a position of success. But I feel like anything that happens around you is very absurdist. It happens at random. It doesn't happen for a reason. Like, maybe scientifically everything happens for a reason, but I don't believe everything happens in a spiritual way for a reason.
Okay.
So that's an interesting take, because that kind of gets into the debate of science versus, spirituality, really. And, I know that there's some people that actually take both routes. Like, I think, I kind of take it both routes in that, I do somewhat believe in, there's a spiritual... Well, not even that. I'd say that science explains a lot, right?
Right.
Science has given us so much, and it's taken us to space, right? It's done amazing things.
Or has it?
Has it, but
Was there a man on the moon? I
Why
don't
was
know.
there a shadow and wind on the first moon landing?
Exactly.
I don't know.
But the thing is with
Cue the
science,
X-Files theme.
the thing is with science, right, is that it doesn't answer the why question. Science does not tell you why; it tells you what and how. But it will never give you a reason why something truly happens. It just can give you more of an explanation about it.
Well, if you want to look at it this way, science can't really give you a reason why. It just gives you a reason why not. Because you can't prove anything with science. You can only prove it wrong.
There's only theories in science. That's true.
Yeah.
And scientific theories are different from, such as a regular theory.
Yeah, 100%.
Still, there's an inherent level of doubt that, must exist with all.
And some things you just can't explain.
Yeah,
That
like
is true.
It's magic.
we can trace ourselves back to the Big Bang, but what about prior?
Yeah.
Like, what created that? Like, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. We used to talk about this all the time. How is everything here right now if it wasn't here
Of
right
course,
now?
Yeah.
And
How can we
is there going to be
create
an
life?
end to it then?
Yeah.
If it already existed.
Is there a fate or is there free will with how we control our planet? Are we set to destroy our planet or are we on the crash course?
Right?
So
if
like the world and space was just an absolute empty nothingness, and then just one day, just
Yeah.
one cell just appeared, and then
Not
don't know.
necessarily.
Perhaps.
Not
We don't know.
necessarily. Like the most common theory right now is that the universe is like an elastic, and it stretches and stretches and stretches to the point where it can't stretch anymore, and it snaps back in on itself, and it's like a continuous cycle of that.
Yeah.
So
The thing is,
Wow.
with
Very
that
scary.
theory, it's interesting because that doesn't give way to the end of the universe. That's basically
rebirth, really.
Yeah,
Restart
So
the
there's
universe.
something that just popped in my head. So you guys are saying that if you make the decision to get things done in life, to get up out of bed and do something, right? Is that really your decision? What's the mechanism inside your head that makes you say, I will do it? Or is there any mechanism? Like when you guys get up and go to work every day, right?
I believe it's really fight or flight. At some
It's an
point,
instinctual thing.
it's a very instinctual thing.
Yeah.
So
So
I feel like
I
if
feel
you have the inherent, instinct, even if it takes a while for it to,
To develop.
kick in.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like if you have that, instinct to, work for it, you're going to become successful.
So is an instinct
And I-
something that's inherent? Are you thinking about an instinct, or are you just simply doing it?
no, I think it just happens.
I feel
It's like you
yeah.
really
So that
don't,
would be-
you really
No, I
don't
think
want to
you-
get out of bed, but you know that you have to.
Yeah.
But then
I
again,
think
there's
it's
been,
all about the routine.
Yeah.
If you work at something for long enough, you'll just get used to doing it.
but sometimes the fight or flight doesn't just kick in one morning. Like there was the time when I was unemployed for 2 months after Pinkberry shut down, and every day I would sleep till noon, and I wouldn't go out and look for a job. I still got myself out of bed, but to just go move somewhere else and still be lazy and unproductive, it took a month or two for me to actually one day hop on my computer and start doing job research. There was an entire month period where I wasn't
So
doing
what changed your
anything
mind? You wanna
proactive in
get
my
one?
life. I knew after weeks of not working and credit card debt piling up, eventually finally nailed me in the head hard enough that I'm okay, I really do need to go get a job.
Why? Because you're in debt?
Working on it.
I think it may not be first instinct, but if you're having those thoughts, you're really kind of nurturing the instinct a little bit more to get out there.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
get yourself in motion.
That's interesting. So do animals have free will?
Yeah, I think everything has free will.
Everything has free will. So every single
Even a
atom of
rock?
the universe is conscious. of
Okay,
something?
maybe not. Every
sorry.
every sentient thing has free will.
Yeah.
I'll rephrase.
I will say I'm definitely a big animal lover. It's really hard for me to look like a dog in the face and just think there's nothing else there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like a dog has a soul in a way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know?
100%.
But I don't know. Does a fish have a soul? I don't know what a fish.
I don't
a fish
know.
snake.
Yeah, but
I see that's
don't they only
yeah,
have
but
3-second
does a
memories?
butterfly have thoughts?
Of course.
I don't know. What do they think about?
Does an
I'm gonna fly
inchworm
over
have
here.
thoughts?
Fly over
Food,
here.
sleep, have babies.
Where's
No, but are they
grass at?
I'm gonna make a
though?
cocoon for myself.
Are they really? Are they really
I'm gonna
thinking?
rebirth.
That's an interesting thing Anthony just said. He just said, eat,
What did you
sleep,
say?
make babies.
Yeah.
That's a very instinctual
That's
thing
kind of
for
exactly what
every
humans
do.
Are they
Yeah.
actually
animal.
having those thoughts, or is it just instinct in their bodies, just kind of doing
It's
it?
just instinct, instinct
It's-
knowing that they have to reproduce.
It's-
But are they
it's an-
thinking about it though?
It's an instinct knowing you have to reproduce.
They're like, "Yo,
but-
I'm mad hyped to get in this cocoon." Like,
What is that?
I'm gonna get big and
Darwin's,
strong. No,
Well-
it's just what I have to do.
Well, look at animals' mating
Hypothesis.
calls, hypothesis.
Darwin's hypothesis. of everything.
Darwin's theory.
Yeah,
Oh,
that you
what
just
about
have to. You're just here to reproduce, and that's it.
Yeah.
well, not
Well,
humans
yeah.
for sure.
Well, no.
Other animals.
No,
Do you
especially
think we have a
every-
purpose?
every-
No, I'm
If you're not
saying we're not
reproducing,
just
aren't
here
you
to
just kind of like a
reproduce.
waste?
Who
Yeah.
says?
The
That
only
people think.
the only thing
Favors.
that you
Terry's like, we're here to reproduce and invest in stocks.
That's true.
and make podcasts for y'all.
Yes.
Hey.
Love it,
Talk
love
about
it.
useless nonsense.
Oh. Wow. So dating at 23. How do you guys feel the dating scene is going for all of you guys around the age of 23?
Not good.
Not good.
It's so hard.
I'm lonely.
It's a hard time.
Definitely different. Definitely different from when we were in high school.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Again,
Dating at 23 is definitely different than
Dating at 23
17.
is definitely different than dating at 17. That's for sure.
I feel like I had more of a dating life when I was 17 than now.
That's because I feel like we're in school with people all the same age all the time.
Yeah.
Like now we either have to get on a dating app or like go meet friends of friends or drag ourselves.
College
kind
of
now relationships.
College also
if you don't go to
extended,
college, then it's like
Relationships take more work now.
Yeah.
Because in high school, if you don't even make the effort to hang out, you're still seeing each other every day in school. And
right.
that's where you actually spend more of the time in your relationship. But now as an adult, it's like your girlfriend could go. Yeah, they have work. They could go to school and all these things they need to work around to be able to actually. You need to put an effort into like
they could live 40 minutes away.
Exactly. You need to put the effort into like see the person and to make things work. Versus in high school, it's just like
you're just there. All
you
the
could
time,
put in zero
every
effort
single
and
day.
you're still going to see them every day.
Right.
Like. It was just easier.
But also, I mean, your needs of what you want in a relationship changes. Because I think
you know what you want. You know what you're looking for.
I didn't know what I wanted when I was 17.
Certainly. Do you guys think you're at the age where you don't need to know exactly, but you guys have a more of a rough outline of what you want? You know, your relationship.
100%.
You're not just gonna waste your time with someone.
There was
who don't
one
fit, like,
relationship
any sort of
that
your needs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone has that one relationship in their life usually that
you get stuck
like
on
well, not that you get stuck on, but that kind of like opens your eyes a little bit. Like I had that one relationship that we don't need to talk about, but it made it so I like knew a lot of the things that I wanted and didn't want a relationship after that. Like after that relationship,
growing up.
Yeah, after that relationship, I was just like, okay, like I kind of know what I want now.
Yeah, I think I've learned to take it all in stride too. Like I obviously I haven't found my one yet, right? But
Fate.
Now when I'm dating girls and I'm like talking to people, it's like, if something happens and like it just like sucks, it's like a shitty situation, you got to move on from it. I'm way more okay now from just moving on from it than like trying to understand why it couldn't work. Is there anything I could have done differently? Is anything the other person could have done differently? Now it's like, well, because of time, because of who we are, because of just where we're at in life, some things will just not work out.
Yeah, so you're more knowledgeable of that.
Yeah.
So you're saying that when you were younger in your relationships, you tend to like stick on it a little bit more.
Definitely an understatement, without a doubt. Yeah.
I feel like relationships get better as you go on, like in age too, because the fact that your relationship with yourself gets better. Because I mean, you just talk about like knowing what you want from a partner, but like you also need to understand what you want as a person, and you ideally want someone to support your goals, but you need to be able to like fully understand yourself first before you can like maintain a relationship with another person.
I'd say my biggest mistake when I was younger was only focusing on like what kind of girl I wanted, what type of relationship I wanted. I didn't think anything about what I wanted for myself personally, and now I'm definitely taking it the complete 180 around and saying like, no, I need to get my stuff in order first, right? Make sure that I got the stuff that I want in life, and then we're focusing on other stuff.
I think
because it's not to complete your life, right? A relationship's supposed to improve it, but it's not supposed to complete it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's highly irresponsible to get into a relationship not fully knowing yourself. That's just my opinion, but
so guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go right ahead.
But so this new Netflix show, it's called Love is Blind.
That's a huge thing. I've not watched it.
It's huge right now, but it's about these people that go on this dating show and they cannot see the person. So Love is Blind, like they just fall in love with people through a wall. Yeah, they fall in love with people. Like they're in like these little pods and they just talk to people and they go on dates, but it's just talking to like each other. So would you guys? They like it's like a month, but they like. And they end up getting married. Yeah, they talk for like people for like a month, and like some people get engaged within 2 weeks.
And they don't see them.
They don't see them at all until like they agree to like get like engaged.
I mean, I guess if you're like a heartfelt person and you really just care about
all of them are there
someone,
for marriage, obviously.
Yeah, and you really just care about finding the person that you really click with, and you don't care what they look like. You're looking for a soulmate, I guess. Yeah.
But I think that like
that's half the battle, though.
Exactly. What if you're actually not physically attracted to someone when you can be emotionally attracted, but you're just not physically?
That's a thing. That's the thing.
The whole thing is like really like it's crazy for me to think about. Like you can be so in love, like even like online dating, like you really don't know who you're talking to unless you fucking see them in front of you.
True,
so like. you could hate the way they look and hate their like gestures and poses and like whatever, and be like I can't, and like whatever facial expressions, be like I hate you, I don't even like you because of like, you do like that snicker with your nose when you're talking or something.
So I have a very
and then everything could just be like taken off, you know, like all your attractions to that person.
Wow. I have a very deep, realistic question. So what about like when you do fall in love with a person and what they look like and stuff? Because obviously you said you can be unattracted to people. What's your perspective on like when you get older? Just say like your husband or your wife, like they like maybe gain a lot of weight or like they go bald. Like, are you gonna like allow that to like ruin the marriage, or no, you love them because you fell in love with who they are?
Person, right?
That's a good point though, because I mean, when we look at it, as people get older, you know, people split up as they go older, you know, and it's like they don't have the energy like they did when they were younger. They're maybe not as attractive as they were when they were younger. I mean, I think people's faces generally kind of keep their shape, you know, but it's, you know, we get older, we get fat and we get like our bones start to ache. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you think we're 23 right now.
Yeah.
I feel like we know so much. When we're double our age, we're going to know so much more.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
So it comes with that, like growing up and becoming more mature, and your love or your significant other, whoever it may be, may, you know, get fat when they get older or something, but you learn to love them, you know? At
every stage of life, that's right. Through whatever, marriage talk. Through
whatever. And going into that, you were saying something earlier about you fell in love with your wife or something 5 times. Was that what you were saying earlier in the kitchen? Can you explain that?
Why a lot of marriages don't work out.
Oh, yeah.
It's because you change over time, especially over the course of like when, you know, people are married for like 20 years, 30 years, stuff like that. And this guy was saying like how he fell out of love with his wife and like it ruined their marriage. And this other guy was saying, well, the thing is that you change over time. Your personality changes, you go through things, your body changes, all this type of stuff. And he was like, basically, whenever my wife changed and I noticed her changing as a person, I learned to love that new version of herself.
It's beautiful.
And so he basically said, I've fallen in love with my wife 5 different times, because each new version of herself that happens like over the course of 5 years, 10 years, he learns to love these new things about her instead of being like, you're not who you used to be, or you're not who I fell in love with, or you're not who I married.
Right, you're selfless.
People change. You need to learn to love the change.
Yeah.
Love the one you with.
It's a beautiful story, though. It's beautiful.
I love that.
I think it's hard. I mean, again, we're young, so it's like we just don't know. But I don't know. Maybe it doesn't get easier. Maybe it gets harder as you get older to, you know, learn to love your partner in that way. And maybe that's why it is hard to, you know, like lifetime marriages and stuff and things like, even if it's not a marriage, I mean, people stay together and never get married and it works out for them. I mean, I don't know, I guess you got to do what works for you.
Different for every person, obviously.
Yeah. So getting older and, you know, aside from marriage, do you guys have anything you want to do before you die?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys have
bucket list?
Yeah, do you have anything like that?
Wait,
yes.
Before we talk about it, do you guys think everything on your bucket list should be like 100% obtainable, or you should have like these big dreams that like you can only wish to have?
No, they should be able to be obtainable if you really, really put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it shouldn't be like, oh, like I want to go to space before I die.
I'll probably never go to Jupiter, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, like something on my bucket list that I would have to actually make a significant effort to go out and try to do. I mean, probably not significant, but I would really love to drive a NASCAR like around the track.
Oh,
like I think they have things.
That's
you
a
can
really
pay to
Why
do
can't
that.
you put that on your bucket
cool.
list? Who cares? It would be like a dream list more than a bucket list.
No, that is a bucket list thing. It's like a very much like adrenaline junkie
Do it,
kind of
then.
thing, like jumping out of an airplane, which I also really want to
your
do.
last
I want to
almost
skydive. It's like
God, I couldn't
if I'm gonna die,
skydiving.
we're all gonna die one day. I don't want to like live my life and be like 85 and be like,
What did I
skydiving sounds kind of fun. Yes, it is really dangerous, but like I never did it because I was like, what if I die? Well, now I'm about to die. So like just do it. If you die, well, I mean that really freaking
Tomorrow's
sucks.
promised
But
to no one, people.
you could die crossing the street tomorrow. Like
Exactly.
We could die right now.
So Anthony,
do
what's
the
on
things
your
that make
bucket
you
list?
happy.
You know, I haven't really thought about it. I don't think I...
One thing.
It's a kind of a hard question.
You
One
really
thing
wanna
that
do.
I've really wanted to do.
Like if money wasn't a thing.
If money wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Or like maybe you don't need money, you just like want to rob a bank or something.
I don't know. You know, I have no
To
idea.
get famous.
Go to Jupiter to get more stupider? I don't know. What about you? I have no idea.
Oh, well. I have a very hippie bucket list thing that
It's-
Sean
I guess,
said
like,
earlier.
It's a good idea, but
So, this maybe would be obtainable, maybe would not, but it's something I would hope to maybe do one day, but is to have enough money to just get a really nice van and travel cross country and just sell paintings out of it. Just go to like all like a bunch
Amazing.
of different
Amazing.
literally just park on the street or like go to like all like the capitals of every single state and just like sell artwork throughout it and like create it in my like little van, like get one of those like vans that people like restore and like it would be like light blue with like pinstripes on it and like cool
Get a
like
Volkswagen
interior.
bus.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I would absolutely
That's
love
amazing.
that.
But the
Like,
cool
Like
thing
Winnebago.
too is you could
just
learn.
listen to music all day. I know how to fix cars, so I could like, you know.
my
If it
God.
breaks down, if it breaks down, you're Gucci. But also, like, you'd be able to explore and learn all, like, the culture of, like, all these different cities you've different been to, like, their vibes and, like, the food and, like, all the environments. Like, that would be so dope.
I would
so
love
many
that,
different
though.
people.
Like,
It'd be so fun.
If I could
I
do that,
definitely-
I would do that.
I would
Something
do that. I would
different every
100%
single
do that,
day.
yeah.
Like,
Yo,
Like mine is for me
Take me
selling
with you. I'll start
paintings because
saving.
I'm not artistic like you. But no, I've always definitely. Actually, I've been saying for a while
This
now
world
that I
has a
did
lot
want
to
to take like a
offer,
road trip.
especially
Like,
in the United States.
you know,
I think that's like a bucket list for,
After the coronavirus
for
stuff.
everybody.
exactly.
well, like I said,
Visiting
like,
everywhere across country in a van with all your friends.
this isn't
That'd be sick.
this
That'd
isn't a
be
bucket
so
list thing,
fun.
but my mom, I don't know if she saved money, I mean, but she was also making money. You'd theoretically be making money selling paintings, but my mom in college, I think she went her freshman, sophomore year, and then she decided to go live in Italy for an entire year and,
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
and,
Like,
ba-
I just
and
need to do
babysit
that.
and babysit for her family, and she lived in Italy.
That's sick.
And
Just a nanny?
Yeah,
That's
she's
amazing.
basically just being a nanny and living in Italy and like taking in all the culture and like living in another country for a whole year.
I love
and then
that.
she came back and then did another year in college. But like that's
Wow.
I would want to do that. I don't know if I would have
You
the
have to get
courage
so
to do that.
submerged
Yeah.
in the culture.
It takes a lot to muster up to get up and go do it.
You're
but-
leaving
Hell
you're
yeah.
leaving everything behind for a year, friends, family.
And a lot of people do it
But
too.
you'll come back.
But I bet the experience is like
Exactly.
awesome.
Sean, is there anything you'd like
Home will
to
be waiting.
do on your bucket list or?
love to go move out into the middle of the woods, just me and a dog,
Yeah.
Very cool.
live off the land for a bit. you
Doing a
know.
little
I think
walk
you're,
out
I think
Go
you're,
off
I
the
think
grid.
I like that.
I'm thinking you're confusing bucket list with very obtainable goal.
No.
You can
That's
he can easily
that's
save
the
up.
way
He
to
can
do
easily
it.
save up for a house.
Don't
But-
share Sean's
No,
bucket list with me.
you mean
I'm talking about like jumping out of a plane type stuff bucket list. Like,
But you know what?
all right?
Maybe Sean doesn't want to jump out of a plane. He wants to live in the woods.
I guess that's a lame goal, according
No,
to
no.
God.
I love that goal.
wait, hold
I'd
on.
love to go to every NHL stadium in the United States
That's
and
actually
Canada
pretty
and
sick.
watch a home team game there.
Now that's a great.
Yeah.
Now that's a
That's
great.
a
Buck,
great
now
goal.
that's a great bucket list thing. See, you just said, "I'm sorry, that's a lame goal." There's a difference between a goal and a bucket list.
Nah. My goal would be to move out.
Goals are like your
completely
ambitions.
withdraw from society.
My goal will be to
Goals are like
Live
your
off the
ambitions
grid.
and bucket
act
lists.
like I
Exactly.
don't know nobody.
I don't trust the government.
So Terry, do
Yeah.
you?
I have a lot of things I'd like to do.
What's your number one?
I want to go to Paris. I want to look on top of the Eiffel Tower, see Paris.
Eat some ravioli.
Ravioli.
Is ravioli from
Give
Paris?
me the
Is
formula.
that an Italian thing or is that? No.
I'm honestly not sure. He ran me some ratatouille.
Oh.
I'd love to meet Remy too.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Random.
So add that. Yeah, I definitely. I want to have. So I think. I don't know. It's like Matt's taking a different direction, but it's like I do look at the bucket list as just things you want to do before you die, and it can be anything. Like I definitely want to like own my own property. I've always wanted a big property, like kind of a ranch style, and a small house. You know, I like small cozy houses, and then I can just like have my own land. And actually, all right. So good thing I've wanted to raise birds. Actually, that's been something like cockatoos and like
Oh my
kind
God.
of things like that.
Parrots
Just
and
'cause-
shit.
Yeah, I used to have like a couple birds. And,
Exotic
like,
birds.
I love them. They're still my favorite animal.
Like a
there's
toucan?
yeah, yeah. You can actually. Well, you can't own a toucan as a
I was
pet,
gonna say,
but
I
you
don't
can.
think.
You can rehab a toucan though.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's like having like an aviary and things like that. There's a lot of things I want to do just to like do. Like I don't really have crazy goals, I think, but I have like just like lifestyles I like to live and see myself doing in the future, I guess.
Yeah. So I was kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Matt's
I was thinking things like, yo, like
Crazy
operate a
stuff.
submarine. Like,
Operate a submarine. I want to drive a U-boat
Did you think
before
of
I
one,
die.
Anthony?
What'd you say?
Did you think of one?
No, I think that getting in a van with all my friends and being
That's
able
a
to
really
explore
good
the
one.
United States and maybe hit
Not
all,
worrying
like,
about
the major,
work, like,
not
just-
worrying about anything except
Yeah.
for the gas in the tank and
If you guys
the
want
gas in the
Stomach.
tank and the good
Camping
times.
every
like,
night.
Yeah.
If you guys
Like a
want to
sauna
stop at
though.
every Comic-Con along the way,
Oh,
let me do that.
Hey, why not?
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
No.
Does anyone ever find themselves into like artists, like music artists that they never used to be about?
I've recently, in the last couple of years, been into folk music.
Nice.
And I used to have a very different opinion of folk music, but when I started listening to it, it does. It's a very vibey genre, and it's pretty varied still. It's like, because you have like modern folk, and you have like more classic folk now. But I do really like folk music now. Yeah.
I've gotten more into EDM, and I used to hate it.
EDM, yeah. It's
Like Galantis. I love Galantis.
I can't do
Shout out
EDM
Galantis,
yet.
sponsor
How
us,
about you?
bros.
I've been listening to this band called Flip Turn. They're like indie
Indie's good.
alternative music. I've been really getting into a lot of that. Just like
I think indie and alternative mixes in with folk like quite a bit too. You know, but
I don't know how.
I don't know how it doesn't work,
probably.
but it does work.
Well, you, Anthony?
Lil Uzi till I
I was about to
die.
say Lil Uzi album.
Ever since
No experimentation.
ever since 2015,
I'm just having
2016,
shit.
it's just been Lil Uzi. That's it.
Uzi.
For life.
Eternal Take out now. Alright, I think that's a great spot for us to
Throw in the
wrap
towel.
this one up here. This has been episode 6. We really appreciate Angela for coming through. Go
Thank you
follow
for
her
having
on her
me.
YouTube.
Put all of her stuff in the description. Please make sure to go subscribe.
Everything
to
will
her.
be below.
Definitely.
Subscribe to
Check
us
me
too.
out.
Definitely. Guys, lots of stuff to come. We're opening up more social media accounts, more YouTube accounts.
Go follow us.
Lots
Our
of varied
Instagram.
content.
Everything's going to be below.
Definitely.
And check us out next week.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Back to the Chowdah Heads Talk podcast, guys. I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
You have to point out.